All right. Welcome to Inside the Trader's Mind. Numbers are low tonight. Why? Let's follow that up next week. I want more people on. So hustle your people. Now, tonight, I know Mike is going to talk as an extension of last week's call as well, a lot of the worldly stuff. Something that he's going to talk to tonight is volume and all these things. I'm actually stepping out of this call tonight.
Yeah, get out. It's my turn.
Get out. Yeah, Mike's going to run the show tonight. I'm going to be here, but not here. Mike will also close the call. I'm just, not feeling myself and I just want to listen tonight. Full transparency. I just want to learn. And so I'm going to be a student tonight too. So Mike.
I can share screen. Yeah. Okay. All right. Just making sure. I'll do that here just a bit. But yep. So love you, SJ. Take a seat back. It's my turn. Y'all are all mine tonight for sure. And so, of course, if you guys have any questions in general, aside from obviously the things that we're going to talk about, absolutely let me know. SJ told me that to keep it within bounds, and so I will absolutely respect that. And so what I wanted to discuss today was one of the things that I have, and I would assume a lot of other people have heard of, maybe even used before, but it is, just to start off, it's volume. Is anybody right now currently using it? Just a yes or no. And do you guys know what volume is? Because volume is something that, I would assume is pretty quickly not understood, but pretty quickly introduced to traders in general, not just Forex or anybody here in particular, but it is something that is all about liquidity. And that's what volume stands for, is, for lack of a better term, money put into the market at, of course, particular times, depending on whatever time frame. Well, volume, no, yes, no. I only recall Anna Colling's book on volume being real time. Actively no, and no, I do not understand it. Awesome. So if you do and currently are already using it, you can, of course, again, ask any questions as well, but especially for the people that do not, it is always, again, about, and even to come back to smart money and the way that we approach and discuss the markets, it's about liquidity. What is liquidity, guys? You tell me in the chat. Don't use the word, well, obviously you wouldn't, like, what is liquidity? Liquidity, you're not going to say that, but what does that word mean? In my opinion, I think that term has become a bit cliched. It's become something a lot more. Liquidity is money. To put simply, that's what it is. You could use, orders is money. When we are discussing why the market is going to move up or why it's going to move down, either way, shape, or form, whatever market that we are looking at and just, talking about, the market is naturally going to move above or below, wherever, of course, it currently is, to where the money is. The price of a market is attracted to where the most liquidity, money, orders, whatever words you want to use, it's going to go to where that money is. That's where imbalances are created, for example. And everybody, of course, has heard, or well, hopefully, has been through bounce back and, of course, understands, yes, imbalances and things like that. Smart money occurs at those places, but let me be clear that none of this is, of course, against smart money. It only adds on to that. And let's go ahead and let me move this over here, get rid of that right here. And okay, you guys can see my chart, right? Everybody should be able to, right? You guys can see, just to make sure. Okay, cool. Okay, so the reason why I wanted to bring this up is because, again, first of all, volume and these bars that you see on the bottom of my screen down here, I have known about volume, and a lot of, I mean, again, it is extremely popular. The particular indicator that I'm using right here is literally, if you just go to TradingView and type in volume, if you can spell, which apparently I can't, right? So volume, just this right here, didn't change anything other than the colors. But what I want to show you before I actually show it is a demonstration of why volume and how we can use it on top of everything else that we are currently using. Divergence. Do you or do you not understand divergence? Obviously, I'm still going to explain it, but it's just kind of more so still with the, with the question. And if you do, what is divergence? What is it? Say it for the people in the back. What is divergence? Yes, 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 yes. So, within this particular area right here, what is divergent? What I'm about to show you is not only a particular entry that I have, or that I did have last week, and it's just because it's just the most relevant one. I can, of course, pull this up anywhere else, but divergence is in the simplest way of putting it, it is, again, where two things that are supposed to be moving together divulge and go a different way. One goes this way, one goes the other way. What's here on the chart in front of me in this little shaded area that I have identified with volume, which is here down at the bottom, there is a demonstration of divergence. The reason why I wanted to use this is also because Zach and Jordan and Siva also even talked about it and discussed this particular opportunity as well. But to visually show you that to that and this to this. So what do we see here, guys? Potential momentum shift, higher highs with less volume. Yes. Higher highs. Yep. When the price is going up, but the orders are diverging in the other direction as seen on the MACD, or again, volume. Divergence, and that's, thank you for even clarifying that. Divergence is not strictly with this. It is, divergence can appear on moving averages or anything else. And let me just be clear, if there's any kind of stigmatism on indicators, they are not wrong. It's how people use them. It is how we typically, not in here, of course, necessarily, but just in general, how indicators are typically taught just within the quote unquote, go to Google, type in, how do I trade, blah, blah, blah. That's where the confusion really starts. But do you guys see this divergence that I am specifically showing? Johnny, you're here, right? You've already seen this. I wanted to demonstrate this, because even today, or no, I'm sorry, not today. It wasn't on. Yeah, it wasn't on gold. It was here. I could show another, but Johnny, forgive me, because I know Johnny was there for that. So, Johnny, if you even specifically have any questions, you can let me know. But for everybody else to get, I'm sorry, hold on, the lines got messed up a bit here. Okay. But do you guys see the divergence in what I speak of? And if not, it's okay. Let me go ahead and identify it. What is this right here? And this right here. What we see is that the buying pressure, the buying volume, when the market went flying to the upside, represented this volume within the market, right? You see that? Volume again. What is that? That's what these little bars on the bottom of my screen are representing. It is showing money, the institutions, the whatever, who gives a shit, whatever is putting money into the market. That's what all of these are. But there is a spike right here, as we can see, right? And then, of course, we can see that reflected with price action, right? Absolutely. But then look at this particular, what I have shaded in, this little, square here. But look at what price did. It went higher than the previous, high, right? Obviously, this previous high right here, this, but did not surpass even close to the amount of volume that was injected into the market. Everybody see that? The market went higher here in terms of the physical candles themselves. In terms of the physical price action, it broke this high and went higher. But despite that, look at the disparity down here. Look at that versus this. What does this, again, what does this potentially identify? As traders, guys, what do we do with this information? What does this, pop quiz, sure. What does this signify? What does this demonstration, again, like, what do we do with this information? Then the next buy spike failed to make the higher high. Absorption, yes. Yep. Absorption, yep. Buying pressure is slowing down. Yes, Nani. Hi, Nani, by the way. Change in direction. So say it in one word. What potentially is about to, again, what is about to come from this? Just turned on the replay function. Let me get rid of all of these little things, because of course it's gonna screw it up or make it look weird. But okay, so we are taking that information in, right? Yes, a sell. Does everybody here understand why? If not, please tell me. Do you see why? There is a massive upbringing of cells in this particular situation, that with this particular candle that broke this high, that did not clear the volume that was injected on that candle, because this is where it went. That's the divergence, right? This to this and this to this. If you do not understand, please let me know. So again, as us as traders, what is it that, again, this potentially again, demonstrates or signifies. On top of, again, yes, absorption, absolutely there as well. We could probably even find an imbalance if we went to the higher time frames. And again, that's where everything else can be plugged in 100%. It's just, this is me just, again, trying to, put it into a simple understanding. Volume is something that is, yes, lagging, just like typically every other indicator, because it obviously will only show up when or after the candle has printed. And this is, again, gold on the 15-minute. But in this particular situation, and this was last week, it's not this candle that we are discussing in terms of entry. What is this candle? On which time frame do you look at volume? Any, like, because volume, and quite frankly, in fact, all of the different time frames are the same, just zoomed in or zoomed out. So there's not necessarily one better than the other. It just depends on, what we're looking at. If that doesn't make sense, you can let me know. On which time frame? Hourly, even the daily, even the 15-minute, even the 1 minute. The 1 minute, but again, let me be clear when I say this, it depends on the specific individual. All of it is, again, going to represent the same information, either zoomed in or zoomed out. But if we are looking for entries, if I were to speak for myself, yes, I will go down to lower time frames as well. But even this particular volume candle that we see right here, this is going to show itself. This is on the 15-minute. This is going to show itself on the 5-minute candle. It's going to show itself on the 1-minute candle. It's going to show itself on any, smaller time frame. Within that 15 minutes, maybe it was minute 6, minute 7, minute 8, minute 13. Absolutely. That's why I'm saying, again, yes, you can go lower or you can go higher. So volume, again, is not necessarily specific to one time frame. You can use this and even potentially confirm on higher or lower time frames. So, but again, if that doesn't answer your question, you can let me know. Potential reversal, liquidity captured above. Yep. Time for it to seek the lower FU candle, absolutely. But this, to me, is not the entry candle. This, in this particular situation, this is what I would like to call the confirmation candle. This candle literally created the divergence. Do you guys see what I'm saying? This necessarily was not the candle to say, oh, there it is, because when this was printing, this candle to create the determination of the deterrence, that wasn't there. It happened after, right? After it closed, right? It wasn't there to create the divergence while that candle specifically was printing. So it's not this candle that we are looking for potential entry on, so to speak. This is the one that confirms. And it confirms what? What does this, if it, and by the way, again, yes, this is on the 15-minute on gold. This could happen on the US 30, Euro USD, GJ, whatever. It does not on the 15-minute, on the 1 minute, the weekly, that part does not matter. It will show itself obviously to varying degrees. Like if you go from the 15-minute to the weekly, you're not going to necessarily see the exact same, picture. Hopefully everybody understands that. But what does this candle confirm? Much less all of the other potential price action that we could dictate from. Look at this bullish impulsive move. We could look at the previous highs. I could just add on and on and on. Absolutely. But just to keep it in a vacuum here, what did this candle on gold on the 15-minute with this particular volume, what does it show? Retailers want to buy the breakout. Absolutely, Shane. Sellers are gaining control because the buying volume is dropping. Absolutely. So then what is the play? The sell, right? And I know you guys already answered that, but exactly what this potentially is strongly referring to is a potential move to the downside. Why? Because what is this? It's overbought. The FU candle, the liquidity grab, the stop hunting, the XYZ 1, 2, 3, whatever you want to call it. It is hyper extended, right? For use whatever term. If you, by the way, it's semantics, guys. If you don't know what semantics is strictly just the conversation of words. All of the words could mean the same thing, but semantics is just strictly the conversation of, no, we're not going to use the word of overbought. We're going to use stop hunt. They're the same thing, but people could argue over which term to use. That's semantics. I do my best to avoid semantics. It's overbought. It is hyperextended. It is, the FU candle. They're stopping out the sellers, all of it, all of the above. That's what's happening on this candle. Does everybody understand why? And if you don't, please tell me, because it's only going to hurt you. You're not slowing the session down or anything. And I'm not imposing anybody doesn't understand or anything, but do you see what I'm saying? Yes or no? And hold on 1 second. This volume is killing me. Sorry, had to turn that volume down. But if you don't, you can let me know. Yes, never actually learned this before. Awesome. So then again, and by the way, I did put the replay function on, so I'm about to be able to, show the candlesticks that are going to occur from this. But again, it's just a example of, yes, what happened here, but what happens all the time. And so if we then can identify this and say, okay, with this 15-minute candle in particular, maybe it was the 5-minute candle, maybe it was even the hourly candle. If you understand, again, just to say that it's not just strictly on one thing. Let's show the next candle here. So there's that. And so then pay attention on the bottom of the screen here with the volume. Not really that crazy, but again, still way pushed up to the upside. What again do not, let me kind of put it in, not in a vacuum, but what would you think the retail world sees? Market's moving up. It's moving up. Let's show another candle moving up, right? What does this look like? Not to us in particular. And it's always hard to kind of like adjust framework, so to speak. but potentially it looks like maybe gold is going to continue to go higher. Not to say that you agree with it or anything, because again, I'm not talking about anybody specifically, just more so of a example of, again, maybe this looks like the market is going to continue to the upside. This is the FU candle, blah, all of that. And then that happens. But the thing is that where is the entry? And that is the most important thing for us as traders. Again, we were not necessarily in a scenario. We're not necessarily in the entry, right? Just taking it off of face value. Remember, this was the candle that demonstrated divergence, right? With this volume, right? This down here on the bottom. To me, at least for me, this has not demonstrated a potential entry for me with this candle, this candle, this candle, or this, big bearish candle. To me, at least, maybe, maybe another person could have absolutely developed an entry somewhere up here above this blue line, which happens to be 2030 for me. Well, it is 2030, but for me, has not demonstrated an entry. Maybe somebody else did. No problem. Does the decrease of volume and bullish candles divergence on these 3 bullish candles another confirmation? Exactly. Potentially, yes. Exactly. Maybe it has. No problem. In this case, potentially, yes. And then, yes, with this 15-minute candle, rushing all the way back down from the top here, all the way back down to 2025, you would be in profit potentially if, again, these, like you said, these 4 candles here confirmed the potential sell, maybe. But what about this one? Or I'm sorry. Okay, there's that. This one. Oh, wait. No. There it is. That one. What just happened? This candle. That candle is the one, at least for me, at least the way that, of course, in retrospect and looking at it, obviously, in the past, that is it. Even though, of course, it has a crazy wick and blah, 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 and, it's definitely a pretty crazy candle. But what is this? What is this candle? Retest. Yeah, it's a retest back up, to the high. It did come back up to the previous high right here. Yes, absolutely. It came back up above 2030. Absorption, absolutely as well. Higher buy volume failed to close. Higher mitigation for the instant. Absolutely, there could be a mitigation there. The sweep, the buy to sell, absolutely as well. None of those things are wrong. In my opinion, this candle is the best potential opportunity that was created off of the divergence that was created on this candle. Remember this candle, guys? The divergence. Remember this? Remember that? From that to that to this to that. All of this was created over here. And then, 15, 30, 45, hour, 15, 30, an hour and 45 minutes later, this candle happened. Well, do you guys see what I am demonstrating? What did this candle do? It did sweep the orders. This is the candle, in my opinion, that did sweep out the sellers and potentially even swept out buyers, because it did also go all the way down to 2020 and then also all the way came back up to 2030 and back up to the previous high. It is a pretty crazy candle for sure. But let's just again assume if there was no entries in any of this, giving the benefit of the doubt, because again, there was logic and reason for potential entry on these candles because of the divergence that happened here. And then those candles followed. But if you hadn't potentially gotten in on any of these, there was this candle. And what was it? Very strong potential. And then what, of course, follows it? Bearish, 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 and then it goes all the way down to 2010. More than likely hitting any take profit. You guys see that? You see what I'm showing? One question to that high buy volume candle. We only see the volume in the candle close, bullish volume absorbed when comparing the candle with the volume after it closes, of course. So 2030 shouldn't be an entry. No, it could have been. If this is what you're saying, Nani, it could have been. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt that what if you didn't? You absolutely, anybody could have potentially even gotten in here as well. This is me showing the market saying, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want it? Like do you see what I'm like? Here's that one last chance to catch this move. I'm giving the benefit of the doubt that a potential entry wasn't created here. You see what I'm saying? I'm taking it a step further, because this entry right here, if I'm understanding what you're saying, any of those entries could have been good as well and could have anticipated this bearish move prior to this candle. This candle's like, are you sure? Are you sure you don't want to get in for this move? You almost like I'm trying to be a little bit funny, but more importantly, it's like, no, you're right. These candles as well could have also confirmed entry off of what we are discussing. But then this candle was also like, again, are you sure you don't want to, potentially get in? You see what I'm saying? Even if I'm understanding what you're saying, these candles as well also confirm the divergence and then also the potential move to the downside as well. And again, with the absorption, because there's also the absorption and then also, everything else that we've been adding onto it. All I am demonstrating is that liquidity and how we can determine when the market is being injected with movement in the market, and how we could potentially determine if again certain things are going to happen, then we could look for it here, literally right here on gold on the 15-minute here. Look at this. This is another example right here. Look at this candle and this volume right there, right? You see this? Let me go right to where it started. So you have this candle to this candle, and then you look at the volume here, from here to here. breaking the high. Anticipating what? A potential move to the this happens to be the exact same kind of setup. Usually I like to show the opposite of bullish divergence, but this is just another example of bearish divergence of volume, of the injections of money in these particular when the market is moving and when it is actively moving. Volume is, again, what I really wanted to demonstrate today as just potentially, again, another confirmation of what it is that you could be looking for. When volume is injected into the market, when you see just a visual difference like this or this, as opposed to, this, you could see a visual, obviously, right? A literal difference in, right? You can literally see it. When the money is being put into the markets, that's when we as traders should be looking to, of course, again, actively be looking to get in, because that's when the moves are going to happen. Oh, yes, I see now. Well, Shane, by the way, Shane, what's up? If not, please let me know. Yes, I think it made sense. One last change and probable clear of the first seller's news. Well, news and fundamentals is another thing that we could add on to that, but just strictly speaking from price action and giving more proof of the sell. Exactly. We could add on more. I could add on more to like that particular example. The only reason why I'm not is I do that deliberately on purpose, is just to not conflate it and not to just, add on and on and on and on and on to one particular thing. Catch the wave, and given more proof of the sell to catch the wave, even if we catch it below, right? Yeah, exact. Yes, not it. Yes, I'm pretty sure yes, we're on the same page. Yes. That last move to the upside is that quote unquote one last chance. Like, are you sure? Are you sure? This candle here. Yes. If, and maybe I'm wrong, but what you were saying, this confirmed the sell before that, bigger volume candle was created. And you're absolutely right. Then all of a sudden you get one of the biggest confirmations, easiest things in the world, when the market just flies to the upside like this, shows a volume candle. Well, you wouldn't see, let's also be clear, this volume candle would not be there, right? Because the candle is printing, guys. You don't see that candle because that candle is not the confirmation. This one was. The bigger one, this one is just like, oh my God, LOL, it is about to drop. Buying pressure, because what do they have to do, guys, in order to move the market to the upside or to the downside? What is it that they have to do in order to move the market down? You tell me. You know what it is. What do they have to do? If they want to move the market to the downside, what do they have to do, guys? What is it? Exactly. They have to buy to sell. There it is. They have to buy the market up to sell it down. And if they want to move the market up, they have to sell the market down to then have the market move up. They have to buy to sell, and they have to sell to buy. Exactly. When you don't, in theory, with practice, and of course, with more practice, you don't need this volume candle down here. When you're literally watching this happen and you're watching this candle literally just fly to the upside, it's literally like, up, here they are, doing it again. When this candle is moving to the upside, and let's be clear, this is where that candle opened, by the way. It opened down here, went flying to the upside. Not many people typically would look for a sell because it's just, just boom, 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 boom. It's just going to the upside. But by the time it closes, it comes back right here to 2025 and then closes out, and then the next candle opens. This volume candle does not exist when we're discussing a potential opportunity on this candle because it's not there yet. Because again, this volume candle is not what I was discussing. It's this one compared to this one. This one is just like OMG, LOL, XD. Here we go, LOL, and then it just goes to the downside. This is not the confirmation. This is just like, yeah, here we go. Because this is the potential entry. Everybody understand? What questions do you guys have? I really wanted, and what I would recommend is that potentially, guys, just add volume. Don't change. I mean, I didn't change anything. The input's 20. All I did was change the colors. You could even go to Siva's Go Live and go to his favorited videos. And he's got a couple of them as well on his Go Live as well. Just backtest. Just check it out and see if you could find any potential mitigations on whatever time frame that again you were looking at, and try to determine again if the market is showing one way where it's hyper extended with the candles. Remember that the extension is going to come from the candles, not the volume. The candles are going to show overbought, oversold. The candles is where the quote unquote trickery and blah, blah, blah is going to occur. The volume after the candle prints, and again, I recommend the replay function, delete all of it so you can test yourself. Just see. It's not to, again, like dissuade anything. It's just another thing that potentially might add value. And then you can see if a market is again overbought or oversold and potentially take advantage of it. Because when a market is overbought and oversold, it is done on purpose, guys, and that more than likely it's going to reflect in a different direction. This recording will be available so you guys will, be able to, go back and refer to it. But hopefully it was helpful. Funny thing is that I catch that move almost on the top in the wrong way. Don't we all? Wiser words have never been spoken. But just try it out, I'm not saying you have to use it or anything. Just, see what it does on any time frame. Doesn't matter, Bitcoin, Euro, USD, US 30, none of that matters. You will see, even in the past, that, well, obviously, in the past for backtesting, you will see that the market gets hyperextended in certain ways that does not reflect the amount of money, orders, volume, liquidity, whatever word you want to use to support that. And then look at the move that happens and that follows after it. And again, you might start to see that even, for your trading today, tonight, tomorrow, next week, next month, or whatever, that you might be able to, potentially identify the same thing. Bada bing, bada boom. But that's what I wanted to share with you guys today. What's up? The higher time frame divergence on the 2021 BTC drops was massive. Absolutely. That would be a wonder. Honestly, Shane, you just shit on me, because I probably should have used the Bitcoin's divergences because of the absolute just, ridiculousness of them, of the overextension of Bitcoin. Because, yeah, just like you said, guys, if you did not understand what we discussed today, that's completely okay. The recording will be there. Go back, and then a wonderful case study. Go to Bitcoin and see what, Shane just said. Because, yes, Bitcoin is a wonderful example of overextensions and overbuying and overselling and hype and blah, 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 especially again on the higher time frames. That is a wonderful chart to determine, and again, as an example, identify what it is that we are discussing. It is abundant. Yeah, in fact, Shane, go to the 5 minute. Go to the 5 minute a year ago. It's just like it's all over the place. Shane, maybe you could share your chart. Yeah, and that as well. But don't do it yet. Give everybody a chance. Give everybody a chance. But that's all I've got. Oh, no, he asked me about something the other. Oh, okay. But that is all I've got. So if you guys don't have any other questions, of course, not trying to rush off or anything, but out of respect for everybody's time, I just hope that it was helpful. And that, again, it, in any degree, shape, or form, it made sense. The recording will be posted in Discord, SJ. And then once it is there, absolutely go back. And then, of course, not just with that, and YouTube. Absolutely. Yes, absolutely on YouTube. You guys know where you guys can find me 5 days a week. And I absolutely, I can show you guys, again, I encourage you as homework, find this on whatever charts, whatever time frame. It's there. It's not just the one example I showed. It is always consistently done. So check it out, see whatever you find. And even again, next week, the next time we come together when we're here, save some screenshots if you guys would. Love to look at them next week and have a discussion about them as well. If you guys have, if you find anything, would love to discuss them as well. Would absolutely love to do that. But with that being said, guys, thank you all so much. Absolutely appreciate your time. And of course, you guys know where you can find me 5 days a week, but have a good evening in Australia. And then, of course, evening, night, whatever, of course, it could be for everybody else. Love you guys. Love you, SJ. We'll see you guys next week. Thank you, guys.